If you're drunk,
Blasted.
intoxicated,
Rip.
plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Double dose of Monday night last night. We got that to go through. The best hitter maybe by numbers, absolutely, baseball's ever seen, passed away. Unbelievable baseball doubleheader yesterday in the playoffs start, and a realignment continues. We got a lot to go through on a Monday morning. Good morning to you, and welcome to the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Mountain West evidently has offered UTEP and Texas State. We're going to get into that conversation as conference realignment continues to be an issue. The baseball, the NFL last night, we'll get all that done. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living? You all right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get all that, but as we do on Tuesdays, we start with football. And we start with Aggie football. 50-40 was the number in Las Cruces on Saturday past. A good atmosphere. New Mexico beats New Mexico State. So the Aggies dropped to 1-4. They are 1-2 at home, and they will play a week from Wednesday. So they go next week as the Conference USA starts to play the weekday games. It'll be on October 9th at Jacksonville State. The head football coach at New Mexico State in his first year at his alma mater. His head coach is Tony Sanchez. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Tony. How you living?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
All right, thank you. A rough one. I know it's a rivalry game. I know there's a lot of emotion to it, and it's one that you want for a lot of reasons, and it went the other way. You looked at the tape, obviously. I got to believe you saw some things, at least in your offense, that encouraged you going forward, whether it was Santino, whether it was the chunk runs, running the ball. Or, how do you feel after looking at the tape?
Well, I mean, obviously there's some good things there. You know, Santino getting his second start, played a lot better, did some good things. Actually did some really neat good things with his feet. You know, he's able to extend some plays, get some, pick up some first downs. You kind of need that quarterback spot nowadays. And then the run game, we just committed to it. You know, I mean, we handed the ball off more. We averaged over 7 yards a carry. That was big. The biggest thing for us is we got stuck in the mud in the third quarter. We needed to do something, and we had 3 and outs there during that quarter, and that's kind of where, you saw the big difference. And then towards the end, we had a first and goal on the 10-yard line, and we threw it twice, ran it once. We probably should have committed to the run on that drive, and that was an opportunity to make it a 6-point game later in the game. And those are kind of the differences.
Obviously, they ran the ball well, and that's something you got to address. They put up, I think it's over 330 yards running at you, and that's where they made a lot of hay. They've got a good quarterback. He was able to do a lot of different things, but what can you do now to address the run defense?
Well, the biggest thing is they got 100 yards in the last 6 plays of the game.
Yeah.
So it's like up until that point, they were running the ball well, they were doing some things, and it's just. The bow broke again at the end, and we just did not handle the edge right. So we have to do a better job with our safety fits. We got to do a better job, coming downhill when they get in their heavier sets, and those safeties got to play into it a little bit more. So, again, I mean, you look at that, those rush totals and stuff, and you go like, well, shit. You got 100 yards in your last 6 snaps of the game at the very end. We just have to be better, So we got to be better at fundamentals, better at our tackling, better at our fits. We just got to keep on working it.
Tony Sanchez is with us, New Mexico State's head football coach. I'm going to tell you an anomaly of a game like this. I see 90 points on the board and no turnovers in the game. And I know you want to turn them over, but you took care of the football in a game where it went up and down the field, which is almost a stunner to me when I look at the numbers.
Yeah, normally you see it, when you see two teams have that many points, it's, it's kind of, rare and stuff. But normally you're going to need to create some turnovers to get that many points on the board. And, the biggest thing for us is early in the game, we had them off schedule a bunch. I mean, they had a 1st and 25 at one point. They had a 3rd and extra long. And, they hit a lot of big snaps getting behind our defense in long down and distance situations. And, that's just unacceptable. We got to be better back there. And, and the frustrating thing is, for the most part, defense has given us a chance, these last couple of weeks, holding on early. We've left them on the field too long. And then this one, we kind of flipped the script where offense was able to do some things, able to put some points on the board, although we did score a lot of our points late. We got to put this whole thing together and just keep on competing.
Now, Tony, you did mention the third downs and what they were able to do, and they scored on third down plays in the second half. How do you keep pushing when you have those third down moments, when you get to that point and you're a play away, and then you have those big ones against you?
Well, we probably just need to be a little bit more aggressive. Dan Pierre's a good player. I remember watching him through high school at Saguaro and stuff like that. And, you watch all the tape, and it doesn't make a difference who he plays with. It's Arizona, us. I mean, he just extends plays. He's a dangerous guy back there. But to me, in retrospect, looking back on it, we gave him way too much time. He's standing back there, dancing around, waiting for guys. I mean, you can't ask the secondary to hold on that long. We probably should have been a little bit more aggressive and just come after him.
New Mexico State head football coach Tony Sanchez with us, and you did have the opportunity right before half. You guys made the plays down the field to kick the field goal. How impactful was a moment like that just before half when it was 21-7, but you're able to go in 21-10?
Yeah, it's, the frustrating thing is, the drive before that, we get one first down. They don't score that point. It's 14. It should have been a 14-7 halftime. And we go ahead and, we screw up a third down, conversion we should have made, and then they go down and score. So at that point, you want to just get some, get your air going again. So they got real soft, and we actually ran the ball twice and got a bunch of chunky yards on that, and were able to kick a nice long field goal. So that was good, and they got the ball coming out after half. And we got to stop, which was, which we needed, and then we needed to do something on offense early in that. If you can make that, a 21-17 ball game, you're right where you need to be. And we just never kind of cut that lead enough, And then again, the critical one was in the third quarter when you're down 13 and you got the ball 1st and goal to 10. You got to punch it in, you got to score, you got to make it a 6-point game, and it's a whole different night, So, but if you don't execute those things, you find yourself on the wrong end of the stick.
Where are the guys when you look them in the eyes after an emotional loss like that? You got a little. It's almost like a mini bye, right? With a week and a half as the conference turns into weekday play now. When you look them in the eye, you realize you got a lot of league play left. There's still goals in front of you.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, we play some good football teams. But when I look at it, it's like we got 1 of 3 Jacksonville State coming up. They play Kennesaw this week. After that, you got La Tech. I mean, we've got a lot of games coming up that the people who are in the exact same situation as us. I mean, look at New Mexico. I mean, they're just they're kind of still battling that same situation. It's just you just got to keep on fighting. But our kids fought to the end of that game. I'm not worried about it. When they came in. A bunch of the guys, we brought in a bunch of the leaders yesterday to talk and stuff, and they got to bounce on their step. They're in here right now. We're getting ready to watch some film. And nice thing is after those long 5 weeks without a bye and everything, we can shorten things up for the next couple of days. So next week the practice don't have to be so long going into that midweek game. So I'm not worried about the guys. The guys they're going to play hard. We got a good group, good constitution, and then you got to remember too. Just kind of the guys that have been around this building for a long time. They know what it's like to be 1-5 and to bounce back and get themselves a bowl game. They know what it's like to, last year they were 2-3 at this time. We're 1 game difference than we were. Obviously we got, there's a lot of things, that we were dealing with, that we got to overcome, and, we will, we'll keep fighting. But, as far as our guys throwing in the towel now, we've been here every single year. Obviously there's some new faces here, but, there's enough coaches, enough people that have been around. Our strength coach, we just know you just got to keep your head down and keep on working, and good things will happen. Yeah,
football teams are very, very regimented. You get into a routine, and I'm a big believer that distractions distract, that they have consequences. And I got to ask you just how the effect of the news that came down on Friday, your offensive coordinator, Tyler Wright, was taken away from the team. And I don't know where that stands, if any decisions have been made on that, Tony. But you got a new guy going in, calling plays, and you alluded, and I don't know if this had any effect to it. You get down 1st and goal, maybe we should have run the ball instead of throwing the ball. Just the effect of Tyler not being there on the from football wise on your players, and where that might stand a couple of days later now.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll say, being one of the very few, minority Latino Hispanic head coaches in the country, and knowing Tyler for the amount of time that I have. Obviously disappointed in reading some of those things. Obviously we haven't seen all of it yet, but I've been around him for the last bunch of years. I've seen him with our families, our kids. I've seen him interact with our players. I had a whole group of players that come in to see me yesterday just talking about how, obviously they're disappointed, but, they know he's a good person and stuff like that, and I'll stand on that to anybody. What you do at 19, 20 years old, and then to have somebody write that article and have it come out at 11 o'clock at night, that's really tacky on that person's part. I wish it would have been handled a little bit differently. Who knows what will happen in this day and age? I'm not really sure where it's all going to go down. Did it affect us? I think not as much as you might think. I think when it happens, like at the dead of the night like that, heck, some of our kids hadn't even seen it yet. I addressed it with them real quick, and you know how it is in life when you get things like that happen. It's usually the aftermath. You know what I'm saying? It's like a couple days later when it sinks in what's going on that it kind of have a little bit more effect. So we're gonna have to deal with that this week, depending on what goes down. But I don't know if it had a ton of effect on us, on Saturday night. Offensively, again, we played well. The game plan was already done. It was already set, and I got to jump in and make sure that I kind of, dictate what we're doing, and Mitch did a good job. I had a lot of input in there myself. But I got to be a little bit more, I'll put that one on myself. If we needed to run the ball more down there, then that's on me. I'm in charge of the thing. I should have said that.
Right. Is Tyler with you? Is there any decisions made?
Now.
Yeah, and any long-term decisions made there?
Obviously that's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I know where I kind of stand on it. But we'll see again. The university got to make the decisions best for this university. Again, I've got some opinions. I'm keeping to myself right now. I'll say this: Tyler's a good person, and sounds like he made some critical mistakes when he was younger. But I think about like our football team and football teams around the country, and how many guys we give second chances to. When they make those decisions when they're young people. So I just, I know one day we'll all be judged and won't be by anybody on this earth. So we got to be careful how judgmental we become.
No, I understand. Tony Sanchez is the head football coach at New Mexico State, and talking about a guy who got a second chance. You're going to see a head coach and Rich Rodriguez next week, right? Got a second chance, and he's at Jacksonville State. That team's maybe not what they were last year. They were really, really good last year. They came into your place last game of the regular season. You beat them in a really good game. I understand what their record is, but I also understand what he is and what kind of coach he is. And that's the next one. They play in between. You don't. What do you see at Jacksonville State?
They're a rich rod team, and the thing is funny. I was talking to Coach Mendenhall before the game, and stuff, and it's just like all these teams that we had years last year, but everybody lost 30, 40 guys at the portal, and everybody's rebuilt. It's just a different day and age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like it's not like all right, I'm familiar with this team. He's got these guys coming back. He lost a lot of guys, So he does a good job. He's getting those guys going. They had a nice win their last game. They play Kennesaw this week. It'll be interesting to watch how that goes down. Kennesaw's a big option team, but he's fast paced. They're going to be fiery. They're going to play hard, and our guys are going to do the same thing. So it's just going to come down to execution. Obviously playing on the road. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I think that might be a good thing for us, just kind of getting out of here and getting that on the road. Us against the world mentality, and they're gonna play fast. Last year they snapped the ball faster than any team in the country. We have to do a good job when we're on offense of making sure we sustain some drives and don't let them get in a rhythm and give them too many possessions. And then defensively, we're going to have to do a great job of tackling the space. They want to spit the ball out to different places, and, we've got to do a great job there. So, if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Tony, when you look at the schedule, sometimes you're playing early, sometimes you're playing later, but you guys are creatures of habit, and you're looking for consistency. The opportunity to play these games at the national stage, but, it's a twist in the schedule. How do you prepare for something like that, but does the excitement help that it is, a marquee primetime game for your squad?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and the thing about it is now there's no routine at all. So we play 4 games in the next 42 days. I started on Sunday. So if you think about that, you're like, wow. That's kind of wild, So what we do is we just make sure that we count backwards from the game, and then we manage it from there. So like this week, they had Sunday, Monday off. Well, Sunday we came in and watched film, but Mondays are a normal off day. We'll go for 1 hour these next 3 days, just get ahead on a red zone, get ahead on some third downs, get ahead on some special teams, punt protection, things like that. take the Friday off, and then Saturday is our normal Tuesday practice. So Saturday, leading up to Wednesday, we'll have our normal, regimented routine. We can just shave some periods off by the periods we pick up this week. So biggest thing is, we've struggled coming out of bye weeks the last couple of years. I remember FIU a couple years ago, losing that game. We just got to do a really good job of making sure that, our guys are fresh. With the amount of injuries we've had, we're getting some guys back, which is good. We've got some guys down. We've got a lot of guys who have a huge pitch count right now. So we've got to make sure we manage those guys over the next 3 days, let some of the younger guys get some more reps, get some of those twos in a little bit more, and then when we get into next Tuesday, get those guys rolling again.
Appreciate you spending some time with us. I know the meeting's coming up here in a minute and a half. Yeah, and Coach can't be late. Get to special teams. Best of luck at Jacksonville State. I'll get with Michael and figure out how we want to handle these in October as you got weekday games and which day works best for you. But we'll continue doing these and have you on weekly, Tony, and appreciate the time as always.
I appreciate you. Go Aggies.
All right, be well. He is Tony Sanchez. You can sense it, man. He's frustrated. He's angry. But he still believes in his team, right?
Well, you have to as a head coach.
Well, you do, but I think he does. I think he feels like he's found something in a quarterback, that he's finally getting something. They ran the ball well. They committed to it. He got thrown, the 11 o'clock phone call with Tyler Wright, and I had to ask him the question. And I
your offensive coordinator.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the answer. All right, you can respond to what you heard there. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Bingo. All right, Bill, we're recording.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
There's going to be a segment of our listening audience, and I'll be part of it, who will tell you that Pete Rose was one of the most unique players. Well, there was nobody like Pete Rose. Now there's unique players. There's your Bonzes and your Otanis and your everybody's. There's never been a character in our lifetime like Pete Rose. There has never been a hitter. And I've told you this a million times. The basics of baseball: throw ball, hit ball, catch ball, and run. And he hit ball better than anybody ever hit ball. The most hits in the history of the game. Charlie Hustle played the game in a way that when people say that's how you're supposed to play the game, that was him. He ran over Ray Fosse in the 1971 All-Star game, in a freaking All-Star game, and broke Ray Fosse. He was a third baseman, first baseman, played the outfield. He was a switch hitter. He was a competitor. He was. If you watch any of the documentaries on him that have been done of late, where he sat down and talked,
Pete Rose is one of the most fascinating figures in sports history.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, not that you asked the question, but that big red machine of the '70s. With him and Tony Perez and Joe Morgan and Dave Concepcion and George Foster and Cesar Geronimo and Ken Griffey and Johnny Bench and Don Gullett, and was unbelievable. Was really one of the go back and look at dynasties, and I don't know if they were dynasty because some of the Dodgers would battle each other, and the '75 World Series against the Red Sox, the Carlton Fisk Game 6 where he waved the ball off the foul pole or into the foul pole, and it was one of the best ever. But look, you can argue with me, and you can be right, and I can be right, or we can just disagree. And I know that he committed the cardinal sin, and I know that you cannot bet on baseball, and I know that I all of that's right. Like, but he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I always said that they'll put him in posthumously. And all Pete ever wanted before he died was to get into the Hall of Fame. And it was. Did you ever go by in Vegas and see him sitting in that store signing autographs? Did you ever see him there?
No.
So many of you have. And it was almost depressing. Right? Pete's life had become sitting in this store where memorabilia store in Vegas and signing autographs. And I don't even know how much he charged for him. And I never met him. I never went by and said hi. I never shook his hand. I never did that. But a number of times I walked by and seen him there. All Pete ever wanted was to be in the Hall of Fame. And I understand he was banned from baseball. I understand he accepted his ban from baseball. But, JJ, my stance has always been if that place in Cooperstown, New York, which is unbelievable, and I've been there since I was 8 years old, but I still remember it and I want to go back. But if that place tells the history of baseball, then it needs to include the guy who had more hits than anybody ever. Well, Jeff, look, he did this, and he's got pieces in there, and his bat and his ball and all that. Yeah, I got it. There needs to be a section in there, or in his plaque. I always said that I don't believe Pete should ever work in baseball again, but I believe that he should have been in the Hall of Fame. And I believe at some point he will be posthumously, and then we'll say, oh, it's too bad Pete isn't here. Well, you could have. I don't know where you stand on that. I just... To me, you got way worse dudes in there. Ty Cobb's in there, right? They never took OJ out of the Hall of Fame of football, did they? They never took away his Heisman. No, it was about what he did on the field. Never mind what he did as a manager. As a player, Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's not even arguable. That's just where I stand. I know a lot of people are on the other side of that.
Or at least a dedicated section explaining the career and why he's not enshrined.
Okay.
In the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Because he's such a prominent figure in the sport of baseball, you can't act like it didn't happen.
No. It's kind of like steroids.
There's always, and there's always, we can always say if it's fair or not, but there's usually when things like this occur, there's one person that's the example. And then you could point to these other things and other people off the field, this or that, but the thing for Pete Rose is he was the example, and he's going to be that guy. But I definitely think that if you're telling the story of the game of baseball, who has more hits than anyone else in baseball, that should be described, and it wouldn't take away from the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think it's a fascinating story that should be there, and you'd be like, well, why isn't this guy in the Hall of Fame? Well, this is why.
It's actually, I've never heard it put that way, and I think you just helped cement, not that I needed my argument cemented, but you helped me cement it even more. Would you just say that it's not going to hurt the Hall of Fame? Is that what you just said? Yeah. What would it hurt him to put him in? Well, it sets a precedent, and you got to have morals, and you got to have, you do.
Well, I'm not even saying he's in the Hall of Fame, but there's a Pete Rose section of, well, this is how good Pete Rose is, and this happens to the reason that he's not enshrined.
A display. Yeah, okay. I think he should be enshrined. I think the guy, look, when people say, first of all, he had a great nickname. Not that gets you in the Hall of Fame. Charlie Hustle's a great nickname, but that's who he was. He played ball the way, when people say that's the way the game's supposed to be played, that was him, dude. That was him. That was every day. Switch hitter, play every position, head first slides before everybody was doing head first slides. Playing the game every day the way it was supposed to be played. Hit more than anybody else. And look, the tragedy that became him, like catch some of these documentaries that are done. I think it was HBO that just did one recently. Somebody did an unbelievable one. And he talked all about it, and he was unapologetic about some stuff and talked about other stuff. But that's my opinion. I'm curious where you are. 505-246-0610. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? And just your thoughts on the life of Pete Rose. I mean, some of you old school guys remember Pete, remember the Big Red Machine, remembered the switch hitting stud that was Pete Rose, the guy who played different positions, the guy who talked, the guy either you loved him or you hated him. He was one of those original guys. He really was. And as TV was coming up, and this was before every game was on, I was one of those guys you needed to go see or needed to see when it was on TV. When we come back, we'll get into the NFL last night. Titans have an issue. Who's their quarterback? Who should be their quarterback? I guess you could ask the same thing about Miami. And did the Lions make a big statement last night? And the answer is yes, and I will tell you why. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. Watch us on Comcast Channel 26, on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Gift season, it's October, for crying out loud. It is now October. Gift season's coming up. Your vehicle, it's fall. You got people coming into town. May I strongly suggest On the Spot Automotive Detailing for all of that. For you, for your family, for your friends, they detail your vehicle better than anybody. Like, they flat out, they're the best in the city. They won best in the city because they are. And they come to you. So it's not like you need a day. I got to go take my car in, get a ride back to the office, go get a ride back over there. No. They come to you. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable is like kind of one of those overused words, but it is kind of unbelievable. You're working in your office and they're outside working, and you get a text and you go outside and everybody's standing around going, how can I get that? Well, you just go to otsdetailing.com. Your car will look and feel and smell like the day you took it off the lot. You can also ask them about ceramic tint. It blocks 99% of UV and infrared rays. They've got paint protection film, ceramic coating. They offer lifetime warranties on your vehicle. Look, it's one of your biggest investments. Protect it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is at otsdetailing.com. Everything's right there. otsdetailing.com. If you'd like to phone them, then do. 505-859-2859. That's area code 505-859-2859.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We got to get into as well. Evidently, UTEP is really close to joining the Mountain West, and Texas State has been offered as well. How do you feel about UTEP and Texas State? And Aggie fans going, wait, what? What? We'll get there. 505-246-0610. You got 2 games last night. Lions beat the Seahawks 42-29 in the good game. And the Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12 in the other game that went over on the last touchdown. Kenneth Walker, big game for Seattle, but it was nullified by a perfect game by Jared Goff, the quarterback for the Lions. Went 18 for 18. Did not throw an incomplete pass. 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he caught a touchdown pass. Now, they say 20 is the minimum, so he doesn't get the record, because it's the minimum to qualify for whatever that mark is 20 pass attempts. But it feels like if you caught a touchdown, that should qualify you, doesn't it, for a perfect game? And by the way, I don't understand quarterback rating, and I don't know QBR. I honestly, when they show me QBR and rating, QBR of 95.1, a rating of 155.8, do you understand those numbers? I never have.
Do we understand a lot of math? We don't. And there's formulas to figure out so many things that we don't understand, and QBR is one of those things.
Amon-Ra St. Brown had a better QBR going 1 for 1 for 7 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a better quarterback rating than Jared Goff, who was 18 for 18. So can I just call that a stupid stat? Like a meaningless, ridiculous?
I don't think you should even... It's posted, but if you're saying there's thresholds, then that shouldn't even be a QBR rating, because it's 1 pass.
Right. I, for the life of me, don't get it. How much better can you be than he was last night?
He was really good. Didn't turn the football over. That was a problem the first couple games of the season. And what we saw last night was the difference between a playoff contender and a conference contender. This is a Seattle team. Yeah, they had a lot missing on that defense, but they played Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, and Skylar Thompson to start the season. You take a step up in weight class, and you see a Detroit team that has conference title expectations versus a Seahawks team that I think is a team that could win a playoff game, but I don't believe them to be in a conference contender conversation.
Okay. I want to see them when they're healthy. Was that as good as they can be last night? Geno Smith threw 56 times last night.
Career game for Geno.
Almost 400 yards, 395. Touchdown, an interception. Kenneth Walker ran for 3 touchdowns. Good thing he was back. DK Metcalf's really, really good. So, are there only 2 conference contenders in the NFC? Is that what we're saying? I mean, are we considering Washington one?
No.
Are we considering Tampa Bay one? Is it only
Can
the
you
Lions
get
and
there?
Niners?
Absolutely, they could get there, but right now that's the feeling I have is
Okay.
kind of similar to what we saw with Tampa Bay last year.
I mean,
win a playoff game, come up close. Like they're going to have that opportunity because of their start, but they're going to also then have to show they can beat some of these teams now.
Yeah, I think
And they have the chance.
I think you're probably
Totally
right. I like Seattle. I like the weapons they have offensively. When they get healthy defensively, I think they'll be better. I think you're right, dead on your assessment, right? I think you're probably right. The other game last night, boy, who's the Titans quarterback? Will Levis got hurt. Mason Rudolph came in, went 9 for 17 for 85 yards. They won the game. That's their first win of the season. You play to win the game. Now, I'm going to tell you, if I'm their coach, Will Levis is my quarterback. Mason Rudolph did nothing other than they won the game against an inept offense in Miami. I go back to Will Levis if he's healthy. Okay? Mason Rudolph did nothing last night to show me, oh, man, no, I got to play him. He went, what, 3 for 4 for 85 yards and handed the ball off to Tony Pollard and Ty Chase Spears a lot. And that was fine. Tyler Huntley on the other side, 14 of 22 for 96 yards. How about the total offense for the Miami Dolphins? The boy genius in Mike McDaniels, the great offense, and I get it, Tua's out. The boy genius's offense had 184 total yards and 12 points last night.
Maybe we should give Tua some more credit. And it's not as easy as everyone wants to make it out to be for Brock Purdy, for Tua, that it's plug and play. Anyone can do this. Right. Look at these weapons. No, anyone can't do this. Like, those are good quarterbacks executing a really good system.
I think that's fair.
So I'm going to start with your quarterback take. Not at all. There's zero.
So you're staying
zero
with Mason Rudolph.
If I'm Brian Callahan, there's no way after that game last night I can immediately put my foot down and say, when Will Levis is healthy, he's our starter. That dude cannot stop throwing the football to the other team.
Okay.
That was his highlight.
This one interception. It was a bad throw. Yeah.
It's just a bad throw every week for this
I got to look at who gives me a better chance to win.
The dude that doesn't turn the football over because you're
won.
a team that has to play defense and run the ball.
So you're done then. So then you'd be done with Will Levis.
I'm saying Will Levis could earn his way back. But all Will Levis has done is put his team in position to lose games.
Well, he put him in position to win and then put him in position, then lost because of his bad decisions. I'm not arguing with you on the bad decisions. I got a young quarterback and a young team that basically I'm trying to figure out right now, is this my guy for the future?
To me, it's no different than benching a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not doing it. Now, Mason Rudolph went in and lit it up. I've seen enough Mason Rudolph, man. I know what Mason Rudolph is.
Sometimes you need to steady the ship, just like in Carolina.
Okay.
Like it seems like, hey, we just need it.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. Yeah, I'm not. If he's healthy next week, I'm playing.
Well,
him. Now, that doesn't mean I'm never benching him.
He played last year.
Yep.
4 games. And it's not, a lot of these are not, that went off the receivers. He's throwing it right to the other team. He's throwing backward passes on the ground. He's throwing interceptions as he's falling into the ground. Where is the growth from Will Levis? A month in the NFL season, he's doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I got a team that I'm trying to figure out if he's my quarterback for the future. Here come the Colts, Bills, Lions before you get the Patriots and the Chargers. If he's healthy next week, he's my quarterback. Now, I don't know where Brian Callahan's going to go. Have you seen any quotes from him at all after the game last night?
Yeah. That's the exact quote I mentioned. It's, Will's healthy, he's our quarterback.
Oh, he did say that. Yeah. See, I thought you were quoting me.
No.
I had not seen that. Okay. Yeah,
I could not be that definitive. I understand wanting to give Will Levis a chance, the opportunity to grow. But it's the same thing. It's not even a deflected pass. It's right. To
I understand it.
Right to the defender.
Yeah, I understand. Look, I'm not telling you. He's been great. And if Mason Rudolph came in and lit it up, I'd have a
I don't need to light it up.
They won the game. Yeah, but again, I'm trying to develop a quarterback. And I know the answer is your answer is to win games. But 505-246-0610. I got winners and losers, by the way. We do. We didn't get those in yesterday. I'll do those at 8 o'clock. By the way, after the game last night, Jamison Williams and Kirby Joseph got the game balls in the locker room, not the guy who went 18 for 18. Jamison Williams got, 2 balls for 80 yards? Or 1 ball for 80 yards?
2 for 80 and a touchdown.
Dan Campbell said, I just gave the game ball to someone else, so I feel awful. I knew he played a heck of a game. I didn't realize it was perfect. I didn't know it was literally 18 for 18. I knew he played well. You could feel it. He really found his rhythm early. Yeah, you gave a game ball to a dude who caught 2 balls for 80 yards. I mean, it's not a bad game. 505-246-0610. When we get back, let's get into some conference alignment conversation. How do you feel about the latest news? If you haven't heard it, I'll tell it to you. Where you're going, where it looks like the Mountain West is going, and where they're not, at least now. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sports Animal.
Well, those of you Lobo fans who love that UNM UTEP rivalry wonder why it isn't happening every year. You may be in luck. It looks like UTEP, and I don't want to say it's done because I don't know that it is done, but it looks like UTEP is going to be the next team into the Mountain West. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Pete Thamel reported, when did this come out? Last night? 11:38 last night, our time, that the Mountain West is in deep discussions about adding UTEP as a full member. Evidently, there's mutual interest on both sides. Evidently, no deal's been finalized, but I would almost expect this to happen today, wouldn't you?
Shortly.
It's a $2 million buyout for UTEP to get out of Conference USA.
What a deal.
Yeah, right? $2 million. UTEP's been angling for this for years. They got left out the first time. They get left out the second time. They got left out the third time. This looks like where they're going. They like the TV market, and Aggie fans are going, well, wait, what about us? I thought we were going with UTEP. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. That doesn't mean not ever, but not yet. Because it sounds like Texas State is the other team that the Mountain West really wants. However, Texas State is holding out playing possum. Who ever thought Texas State out of Sunbelt would be the key to this whole thing? Because evidently the Pac-12 is interested in Texas State. And Texas State's holding out, well, but if the Pac-12 is probably looking, they're going back at Memphis and Tulane, and if those schools go there, then maybe we can backfill in the American and we don't have to go to the Mountain West. And so the Mountain West is our third choice, even though we're there first and we're the Pac-12's second or third. But you see where I'm going with this?
That's where we are on conference alignment. The schools that you're like, well, how could this school be holding up?
All of a sudden, Texas State.
Because that's what's left.
Yeah. A school that the Pac-12 would never have even. I mean, Texas State is the school that, well, hell, Utah State is, right? Didn't SC beat them 48-0, and it was a bye game in week 2 of this year? And now Utah State's the Pac-12, and SC's long gone?
That is correct.
Texas State is a school that if the Lobos played them 2 years ago, you'd have been pissed. Lobo fans like, what are we playing them for, right? And now you're hoping that they'll join your league. It gets you in. It's outside of Austin, between Austin and San Antonio and San Marcos, and they're putting a lot of money into their facilities and into their program, and it's going to get you into Texas if you can get there. I don't know how Lobo fan feels. JJ, first of all, on the UTEP thing, Lobo fan is always been infatuated with this UNM UTEP rivalry or whatever. So I think Lobo fan will be happy about that. I don't know how the rest of this league's going to be, but at least you get a program, you get a city, you get UTEP is it in El Paso, right?
I definitely think that's more the older generation.
Okay.
And that is faded going on. This is the realization is this is what's out there. And I know there's a lot of frustrated Lobo fans because of basketball. This is survival mode. This isn't about making basketball better. That will hopefully come if you're the Mountain West Conference. Right now it's about how are you going to continue to have a conference? Because that's what's frustrating a lot of Lobo fans.
Yeah, that's first.
Is these are bad basketball programs. Guess what? that's what you got now. And Grand Canyon, St. Mary's, Gonzaga ain't walking through that door.
Let me tell you something. UTEP could be a good basketball program. I don't know if they are. But you're 100% right. This is survival and get to the number. So it feels to me like UTEP's coming over to today, if not today, tomorrow. Okay? What does that mean for Conference USA? I mean, they just added Delaware, Missouri State, Kennesaw State. Their number-wise, they're fine. Leaves New Mexico State out on an island, especially if Texas State, well, no, Texas State's not in that league. It leaves New Mexico State out on an island, right? Sam Houston's still in that league. But, I mean, New Mexico State's on an island. And I don't know. You're going to ask me this, and I don't know, and I've asked Mario. Have there been any substantive? Give me the word. Substantive?
Substantial?
All right, thank you. Conversations between New Mexico State and the Mountain West. And I don't know the answer. I'm going to assume that there are big conversations, but I don't know the answer. How substantive or substantial. Now, how do you feel? Lobo fan, 505-246-0610. It looks like UTEP's going to join the Mountain West. Multiple reports, serious discussions. Why would UTEP say no?
That's not a huge buyout fee, especially if the Mountain West is willing to help out with the money that they're getting down the line.
I don't know that they are or not. But $2 million, I got to believe, and I'm not poo-pooing $2 million, but I got to believe that there's going to be boosters down there.
The numbers that we're discussing
in
terms of exit fees from the Mountain West Conference, poaching penalties on top of that, we don't have that going on in Conference USA.
Correct. Knowing how badly over the years they've wanted to align themselves with, now again, it's not the same Mountain West, but it's the Mountain West as opposed to, right? It is a better TV deal than Conference USA, although, I don't know, you could tell me all their games are on ESPN and they play on Wednesdays, but I got to believe they're coming over. And then Texas State is next. And what's after that? And Aggie fan, I don't have your answer. I know what your obvious question is. I don't have the answer for you. 505-246-0610. I want your thoughts on Pete Rose, what you saw last night in the NFL. There's some big injuries to some big names in the National Football League as we go into week number 5 as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us this morning. Happy October on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
All right, so league expansion in college football continues. The realignment. I was just listening during the break to part of a podcast, a Texas State-based podcast, JJ, the Monty Show. And they think that the Mountain West is the best spot for them. That there's more financial incentives because the Mountain West now has more cash than the Pac-12. That it just makes more sense. So could the Mountain, what a victory that would be if the Mountain West gets UTEP and Texas State. And I'm not saying huge, like I don't know where if the Pac-12 ends up with Memphis and Tulane, then they're in a great spot, right? And while that door was closed, I don't know that it was slammed shut. It could be reopened again. Where's the Pac-12 going to end up?
Probably back with Memphis and Tulane.
You think that's where it ends up?
Some of the things that were said by the Memphis athletic director recently didn't close the door. He's just saying, come with a better offer, and we can have a real conversation.
Yeah, he said it was easy. I couldn't, that wasn't the offer. You come with exactly, basically what you're saying. Come with a better offer, and we'll have a conversation. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Lobo fan, Aggie fan, you're starting to hear more about the Mountain West expansion, the realignment. UTEP has been offered, and there's many reports. This could get done today. UTEP could join the Mountain West. Texas State has been verbally offered, and if you get them both, boy, you sit back in your room and you breathe heavy, or you take a big sigh, and now you're at your number. And then you can decide, okay, does New Mexico State make sense? Does North Dakota State make sense, right? Then do we want to go to 9, 10, whatever? You've got 9 in football, 8 and everything else. Are you at the perfect number at 9 and 8? Or do you want to go a little bit bigger? And who helps you and who brings something to the table. 505-246-0610. We had football last night. Lions beat the Seahawks 42-29. Jared Goff was perfect last night, 18 for 18. 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and caught a touchdown pass from Amon-Ra St. Brown. You get credit for a touchdown pass if you have Amon-Ra on your fantasy football team.
Yes, you do. Rather have the touchdown catch, though.
You got one league where it's 6 points. I don't like it, but it's 6 points for a touchdown pass.
We're going to see a lot of that, I think, coming in the future.
I'm not big on it.
It's coming.
I know. I'm in it. It's
like I think that's going to be more the norm, just kind of like how PPR came in. I think people are going to realize that kind of balancing out quarterback play
it becomes way more important then.
Well, because right now it's still, if you have a running quarterback, you have such an advantage in fantasy football.
Yep.
And so if you go to 6-point passing touchdowns, the pocket passer comes more of a difference maker.
Yep. Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12. Mason Rudolph came in for the injured Will Levis. All right, we got injuries and significant injuries, evidently, in the National Football League. The Rashee Rice injury for the Chiefs sounds like an ACL, huh? And it sounds like a season ender for the Chiefs' best receiver. And then the report I saw this morning, JJ, on Christian McCaffrey, it doesn't sound like Christian McCaffrey anytime soon is going to be like in a great spot. The report is bilateral Achilles tendonitis in both legs. Does he miss the whole year?
It's possible. It is trending that way.
Right after he got paid, right? According to NBC Sports, bilateral Achilles tendonitis in both legs. He went to Germany for treatment on this. Quote from his head coach, Kyle Shanahan, during this time, the time he's had it in both. I think it started in one, you overcompensated, went to the other, but mainly one of them has just been bothering him, but he's had it in both. It's a quote. Overuse injury of the Achilles tendon. It's a lot, man. So those are big deals. Those are big deals to take a look at. All right, you want to talk. 505-246-0610. Alan, what's up? You're on the Sports Animal.
Yeah, I know the Pac-12 has been quiet the last few days, and I'm sure they're just trying to regroup and maybe try again for Memphis and Tulane. Do you think there's any chance they're going to try again for UNLV and maybe Air Force?
I do. Yeah, I do.
That could really change things.
Yeah, no, I do. Now, I don't know that the buyout is going to be even more significant for UNLV and Air Force. So JJ, I think UNLV and Air Force are in the Mountain West. Nothing's cemented. I don't think they go in this haul, right? I think they're here for a little while. I think you're okay in this round on UNLV and Air Force.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Well, and I'm also hoping that the Aggies get an invite. I think that would be good for all of New Mexico.
It would.
So,
it would.
Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, man. It's a really fair question as they circle back, right? I mean, the agreement from last week.
Nothing feels good right now.
It feels better than it did before they signed that, but I think it makes the penalties to get out even more. And look, that Pac-12 war chest, do they really believe they're going to win the lawsuit?
At some point in time, your war chest is going to turn into a piggy bank.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
What they're doing. And I don't know how much circling back they're going to do because the ADs at those universities will take so much heat.
At which universities?
Everyone that left. Because they got the call, tip of the cap, good on you. And I understand if New Mexico is one of those teams, you'd be posting the Pac-12 logo, the fan bases would be flying the flag.
That's right.
Like crazy. I understand that. But the amount of, oh my gosh, we just stepped into a college football playoff bid from these fan bases because you don't have to play a game against Wyoming or New Mexico is crazy.
By the way,
maybe beat Central Michigan.
Utah State's not very good. San Diego State just lost to Central Michigan. They're a one-win team. Fresno State's good. Boise State's really good.
Yes. But
Colorado State's not that damn
just
good.
Just the mindset like that's what was holding them back. Like they didn't get that college football playoff bid. They haven't been a representative because you had to play New Mexico.
What hurts you more?
Like, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way fans are wired and operate.
What hurts more for your college football bid? Losing to Central Michigan or playing New Mexico? Just asking. I mean, Lobo fan, all Mountain West fan, you got to be looking at San Diego State just going, really? You're that damn good. And you can't beat Central Michigan. You can't score against Oregon State.
Like Boise State, they've done it.
Look, man.
You tip your cap that what they've built and how they came from
where
they were a junior college to a football power in the group of 5, they got it. But I just don't see how, okay, we are playing now Washington State and Oregon State regularly, and that's the step forward.
So I'm going to remind you, let me preface this. I've always been, not always, I lived in Washington State for 5 years. I've got a real affection for Washington State. I had great times in Pullman. I have tons of friends who were Cougars. I went to games. I know the words of the fight song. Great times there. I really, really, really like their program. I like Washington State. Washington State and Oregon State were the two teams that were left behind. The Pac-12 was the Pac-12, the Conference of Champions. They were. SC, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Arizona State, Stanford, Cal. They all left you behind. And somehow to say because they were like, what if the SEC left Vanderbilt and Kentucky behind in football? And they rebuilt with App State.
And then they would try to sell it as this is the SEC.
Right?
Well, it's not.
It's the same concept, is it not?
I'm just really missing on the fans that are like, man, now they're so far ahead now. Now they are going to always
because they don't have to play.
Oh, the reason that we weren't. No, the reason you weren't is because you didn't take advantage of that opportunity. It wasn't because you played and beat New Mexico.
No, but you got Utah State, and good for you. You got Logan, Utah, and you got Utah State. That's what boggles my mind, by the way. And you might have Sacramento State, or maybe you'll get Texas State. That'll make it. Look, JJ, I'm with you. My alma mater is one of those schools that left. I'm on threads with the guys you're talking about. I'm literally on threads with these guys who are, and here's the other one that I don't understand is why there is so much venom. Why the fan bases who left are so, like, hate the Mountain West and want to see its destruction. And I saw one thread. It was because, all the preferential treatment they gave to Boise State over the years and how the elevation schools, the mountain schools got so much preferential treatment. Why? Because you had to go play there? They were part of your league. Oh, and by the way, you just took Colorado State and Utah State, and I'm pretty sure Boise's at elevation, aren't they?
Not really.
No? What's Boise elevation? I know Logan is. I know Colorado State is. You still got to go play at elevation. I mean, let me use one of your former coach's terms. Are you really that damn soft?
About 3,400 feet.
All right.
Boise, Idaho.
I mean, that's elevation. It's not
definitely up from sea level.
It's not 5,200 like it is here or Colorado State or what's Logan?
But when you play against the winning football team,
yeah,
elevation goes out the window.
Oh, okay. Basketball too?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And look, I think Fresno State's a good football program. Fresno State got lucky in a lot of respects that Oregon State's athletic director is an alum from there, and that kind of felt that he owed them a little something and took Fresno State along with him. But now they just need numbers, right? Utah State? I mean, with all due respect, what athletic department in the Mountain West is in a worse shape than Utah State right now? Somebody you're going to say New Mexico, right? But JJ, here, like when it's all said and done, who's the more stable league? They got that brand, and so the Pac-12 brand means something to a lot.
It means something on a national stage. You can't deny that. Like that's the one thing people,
they
east
got the
of the
brand.
Mississippi recognize.
100%.
Like, oh yeah, those dudes that play sports over there.
Yeah, they got the Conference of Champions.
Pack or whatever.
Are they
right?
still going to be the Conference of Champions?
Nope.
I mean, they get to keep all that history.
They better not.
They are the Conference of Champions. I love my bike. God, I'm going to miss Bill Walton.
I know.
Now, we lost a lot of people this year, man. Like a lot of people.
If they still somehow put that in advertisements,
yeah,
that's a crime. Catfishing.
Jack says, you know what, Jeff, if you're the Pac-7, do you just chill for a few months? Wait for your former members to come to their senses? It's one thing for your football team to go to Piscataway, New Jersey, once every 3 or 4 years. But it's going to get real old fast for volleyball, women's basketball, soccer to travel there every season. You're making it possible for your fans to follow their teams, and those fans will start to bitch pretty soon. But, Jack, no, because the exit fees are going to make you can't just walk away from the Big Ten now. To go back to that? Tell me UCLA is going to say, you know what? Travel. You're right. We want to play with Utah State now. It's not happening. We're going to leave. I know Piscataway is a long time. We don't want to play Oregon and Washington, and let alone Ohio State and Indiana and Purdue and Michigan anymore. We're going to come back and play Fresno State and Utah State. No, they're in it now, dude. This is for a while, whatever a while means in college athletics. And the exit fees are going to be prohibitive. And hell, UCLA didn't have any money, and they got to pay Cal money. They're giving Cal $16,000, $1 million a year, whatever it is. Why you laugh at that every time I say it? Why do you laugh at that every time I say that?
It's so good.
What? The calimony? Just the term? I wish I came up with it. I didn't. But it is what it is,
funny,
right?
Man. It just highlights how so much of this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, but
here we are.
Well past
and we've destroyed it. 505-246-0610. I want your thoughts. I got a bunch of emails for you when we get back. Your thoughts on the latest in college football realignment. Sounds like UTEP is close to accepting a bid to the Mountain West. Texas State is mulling the offer as well, probably holding out for the Pac-12 and maybe getting one right now. Who knows? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by Life.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Did you watch it live? Mets and Braves game 1 was the one that really was good.
The last 3 innings.
Yeah, that's all that really mattered. Yeah, no, I kind of tuned in that inning where the Mets scored 6. It was crazy. 505-246-0610. Robert, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Robert?
Hey, how you guys doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've been kind of reading about the conference realignment. I think the Pacs put themselves in a really bad situation here. I don't think Memphis or Tulane or the AFC or AAC schools would want to come over there because they want the whole buyout paid, which is, I think, over $20 million apiece. So, I mean, that's some major bucks there. But also, the Pac can't backfill their last team with the Sac State or another FCS team, because I hear that
the transition period.
The FCS team has to go about 2 years in a grace period before they're counted as a Division I team. So the Pac doesn't have that time. So they're going to be in a really tough spot. In a few months, they may be begging for a merger back to the Mountain West or something. Because that might be the only play they have left.
Well, at that point, is the Mountain West going to do it? I mean, I think so.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, money is money, and that makes sense for everybody. I mean, it's just the smartest thing to do. But, man, it's just Pac-12 and their egos, their pride is just driving them into a ditch. They got some good schools there, but they're just being hard-headed and spend all this money just to not play New Mexico and Wyoming. How crazy that,
In a large respect, that's right. No, in a large respect, that's right. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. I just got a text, but I can't confirm this. Text line says that Pete Thamel says UTEP is a done deal. Do you see that anywhere? From Pete Thamel? I see it in its final stages, but I don't see anything from ESPN's Pete Thamel telling me it's a done deal. Aaron, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, yeah. Do they know anything about that potential Pac-12 media rights deal? I mean, I just don't see the Utah State, Colorado State selling that much more because it's under a Pac-12 banner, or a Utah State, Washington State. I don't see those media markets being just the bang-up market that obviously Los Angeles was.
Right.
I mean, if their media rights deal ends up being closer to what the Mountain West was, about 5 to 7 million a school rather than 10 to 15, that's the bigger thing, because that's your moneymaker going forward. Once that War Fest is gone, it's gone.
Yeah, the PAC believes that their media rights deal is going to be $10 to $15 million per school. Now, there's a difference between 10 and 15, right?
Big difference.
Now, they've got San Diego, they got Boise State, and after that, they've got the old Pac-12 schools. So, look, is their deal going to be worth it? With all due respect, right? You say I got Washington State, Oregon State, Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado State. That's my base. Is that worth more than New Mexico, Nevada, UTEP? It is. So their deal is going to be worth a little bit more. But is it enough more to make sense with all the exit fees and everything else? And then what they're banking on, I got to believe, is getting Memphis and Tulane, getting into Memphis and New Orleans, and that'll help their TV. But again, like the last caller said, I don't know that those schools are leaving with what it's going to cost them to get out.
I don't think those schools leave to get the cost to get out. But I mean, you look at the media markets they've lost, and look at the media markets that they're gaining. You're not gaining tons of eyeballs to watch those games.
Look, they're coming down. They were north of 30 million per team. Now they're coming down to about 10 to 15 million in that league. So they're not what they were. But are they more than
They're going to have to get more than 10. Yeah. And then last, you can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose.
Thank you.
I mean, there's guys in the Hall of Fame that if you were telling the story of baseball, you don't even have to mention their name.
Yeah.
But if you're telling the complete story of baseball from the beginning to the end, you have to mention Pete Rose. I mean, and you have to tell the whole story. And I think the whole story adds some good color to the Hall of Fame.
So you think he should be in?
I think he should definitely be in. But like I said, I mean, there are very few players that you can say that about. That if you
100%.
talk about, you have to mention their name.
Aaron, don't be a stranger. Appreciate the call. That's a great call, dude. 4 minutes ago, Pete Thamel, UTEP is in the final stages of joining the Mountain West per ESPN sources. UTEP has alerted Conference USA officials of the school's intention to leave the league. This is expected to be formalized soon. So like I told you, I mean, this will happen today, right? They've been angling for this for a long time. And this is something that they've wanted. Now, Aggie fan, are the Aggies going to get left out of this? Starting to feel that way, aren't they? Jeff, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, good morning. I couldn't agree more that a petty resentment from an old commissioner keeping Pete Rose out of the Baseball Hall of Fame is really what this is all about. And if he's not inducted after he's dead, that's a grave injustice to all MLB fans. So I hope Rose gets in sooner than later. As far as the football schools, the Mountain, they're and you'll know more about this than me, but they have to daisy chain the Texas markets, right? They're trying to get West Texas going into Central Texas with El Paso, and then I'm guessing they're going to go after Central Texas going to East Texas with Texas State for the markets, right?
Well, for the markets, for stability, for what else is left? What else can I have? I mean, you got to hit your threshold. You need the numbers. You know what people always say quality before quantity. Right now, you need quantity, right? You just do. Right. And so what's the best quality of that quantity? And getting into Central Texas, into San Marcos, into that Austin, San Antonio, having Texas State, that's the best that's available to you if it's available. And I think Texas State right now is going back and saying, damn, we just got really pretty. And, yeah, the Mountain West is offered, but I don't know. Let's see what the Pac-12 offers. And then if the Pac-12 – I know we're not the Pac-12's number one, but if they get Memphis and Tulane, does the American want to backfill and get into it? It's like all of a sudden we're pretty damn good looking. It's 1:30 and these MFers have been drinking, right? We're pretty right now.
Yeah, they're in a position to be the belle of the ball here in just a minute, and I don't know. I hope we land something, but wouldn't it be ironic if I think it was 2 callers ago if all this happens, and then CBS Sports had an article
Yeah, it was a
yesterday
good one.
saying the Pac should get over itself, and they should have just merged with the entire Mountain West to begin with. And if that's what ends up happening down the road, what a bunch of wasted money and wasted time. Right?
And I think I think a lot of us agree with that. The people outside of Boise and Fresno and San Diego and probably Fort Collins believe that. Yeah.
Of course. Well, it'll be fun to watch it play out, and unfortunately, it's not always going to be 100% all about the fans and making it easy for them to travel the games. It's going to be about eyes on TV sets, football, and money coming in through TV revenue. So I hope some fans are realistic in their expectations and wondering why they're not being considered as the first option when adding schools. So that's just the way it is now, and I guess that's the world we live in.
Yeah. See you, man. Where do you want me to go? I got a break. If you're there, stay there. We're coming back to you. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Get ready for the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like riding a bicycle.
Well, Pete Thamel about 4 minutes ago. 6 now. It was a long break. Pete Thamel says Gonzaga set to join the Pac-12 today. An announcement coming soon. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. I mean, the hits keep coming and they don't stop coming. Right?
That's a big one for the Pac.
That's huge.
Absolutely takes the basketball brand to another level.
Well, and then the thought is UConn going to join the Pac in all sports now? Which is then I guess if UConn joins, then it opens up the world to them, doesn't it? As far as who do you want to go pluck from somewhere?
Yeah.
No, honestly. I mean, if UConn joins in all sports and you're going out there, you almost need somebody else out there, don't you? And I don't know who that means. I mean, does that mean Temple? Does that mean, what does it mean? Ray, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you living?
Good. I agree with you, Pete Rose. He should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. It's okay for them to have his memorabilia in the Hall of Fame, but it's not okay to have him in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I think they should, if they're not going to have him in the Hall of Fame, they shouldn't have anything of his that represents him or anything in the Hall of Fame either. But I think he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. I agree with you.
I appreciate you, Ray. Here's my thought. And Pete Rose passed yesterday, and like somebody just said, the story of baseball can't be told without him, which is fine. But my whole feeling on him is if, in fact, you're going to have a shrine, and that place, if any of you have been there, to the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's unbelievable. It's beautiful. It's extensive. It tells the story of baseball. And there are Pete Rose items in the Hall of Fame. Pete was banned. He accepted his ban from baseball. And I always claimed that he would get in posthumously, that after he was gone, somehow Pete Rose would be let in. And Pete's gone. All Pete ever wanted was to get in. You could say, look, he was a bad guy and he did this to himself, and all that. You might be right. Like honestly, you might be right on all of that mess, right? But the guy who led the history of baseball all these years had the most hits. The most basic thing that baseball is hits. To not be in the Hall of Fame is wrong. He should never have gotten a job in baseball. That was the ban from baseball. To me, ban him. He shouldn't get a job. He shouldn't work in baseball. Okay, he can't make a living. Fine. I always felt this was a grudge thing, man. Because he was so defensive, because he never flat out came, and then it took him a long time, and finally he said he did it. And I just always thought this was we're going to show Pete thing. That you know what? He doesn't want to admit it. Fine, then we're just gonna hit him. Hit him where he lives, and where he lived was the Hall of Fame. He was all about being in the Hall of Fame, and he'll never get it. He's gone. It's too late. And some people are going to say that's what he deserves. I'm with almost all of our callers right now. Almost every one of you agrees that he should be in. He should have been in. 505-246-0610. All right, text line. El Paso is a small television market at number 91, but we enjoy the rivalry there. Welcome, UTEP. Sorry, NMSU, you missed the cut. You haven't missed the cut yet. JJ, if Texas State says no, right? And Texas State, so for those of you just joining, UTEP is very, very close to accepting, if they haven't already, expected today. The UTEP's going to join the Mountain West. That will be 7 full-time members, 8 football members. Texas State evidently has a verbal offer. I don't even know what's the difference between a verbal offer and here's your written offer. Like, what the hell are we doing? Texas State is the other team that the Mountain West is looking at. Texas State, I think, is holding out to see if the PAC invites them, what they want to do. If Texas State says no, where does the Mountain West go? Is it back to New Mexico State?
Sam Houston State been thrown in there?
Not yet. As far as what I hear is a formal that they could be. Okay. I think that's something that right, you get into Houston. Yeah. Yeah. Gonzaga to the PAC is something, dude. So basketball-wise, they got San Diego State and Gonzaga in the same league now.
Yeah, so that shows you what they think of St. Mary's.
Who thinks of St. Mary's? The PAC?
No, Gonzaga. Because that was really, it was them and St. Mary's that were carrying that for so long. You've had moments where
St. Mary's may end up there too.
San Francisco, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think this was just the collapse of the West Coast Conference. That the 2 biggest basketball brands would go there. And then if you're the Mountain West, San Francisco, something like that interests you if you're looking to cobble together basketball-only schools.
Well, that's what I told you this a couple weeks ago.
Did you maybe go like Grand Canyon?
Look. I told you this a couple weeks ago. If you're the Mountain West, once you figure out your core membership, that means your football membership. Once you figure out, let's just say it's UTEP and Texas State that join. Okay, let's say, do you then, and I said this to you last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever the hell this all started, do you then start looking at the West Coast for basketball and saying, hey, I got it. You know, they got Gonzaga and probably St. Mary's going to the PAC. But do you want to get into those markets? Do you want to get into LA? Does Pepperdine, Long Beach State, any of those West Coasts, or I mean Big West, because Long Beach State's Big West. Does what about University of San Diego for basketball? Does any of that do anything for you? Does it help you basketball-wise? USD, Pepperdine, Loyola Marymount.
Pepperdine is
Irvine.
Straight just the trip, because that's a high school gym.
Most of them are high school gyms.
No, like that's legit. Like,
well, I'm just telling you, Cal State Fullerton's no different. Yeah, no. Look, Pepperdine's nicer than Fullerton. Like a lot of them. The Long Beach State. Well, no, Long Beach State's different. The pyramid's really.
And Pepperdine has the push-out bleachers.
Yeah. So does Fullerton. Like a lot of them are like Cal State Northridge is that way, 100%. Like yeah. But do those markets? Okay, so does San Diego or Long Beach State or UC Irvine, or does any of that do anything for you? Santa Clara. You can tell me no.
I think that there is legit positives to certain aspects of that. When you're looking at, you get to 8, so you have your conference, and then you do understand that there are still basketball programs in the Mountain West that want to push forward, and can you add to that at all?
All right, 505-246-0610. I'm going to take this break. When we come back, you're on the phones. I want to hear more from you. 9 o'clock. I know I promised you my biggest winners and losers of the NFL, but news is just popping. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by FEMA. FEMA.
Pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-3333 888-244-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Show that she better than all my intentions. Like and show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others. And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
Clark's Pets.
You're going to join the Mountain West. Multiple reports. UTEP has informed Conference USA it's leaving and joining the Mountain West. Gonzaga leaving the West Coast Conference. They are joining the Pac-12. So the Mountain West is up to 7 full members, 8 football members. Mountain West is up to 7 full members, 8 basketball members, right? And the 2 best programs on the West Coast, 2 of the 3. Arizona's got to be thrown in there. Over the last, pick your time frame, Gonzaga and San Diego State are in the Pac-12, right?
Yes.
They played in 2 of the last 4 championship games. The most consistent teams over the last, decade and a half, whatever you want to say. San Diego State and Gonzaga. Hopefully there's going to, what we need to see in basketball? A Pac-12 Mountain West challenge. One of those, you have ACC Big Ten challenges. We need to see a Mountain West Pac-12 basketball
just drag down their schedule. Why would they want to do that?
Oh, that's right. They don't want to go to, they can't go to Laramie and Albuquerque. Yeah, you got to go to sea level. Anthony, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So I think UTEP coming into the Mountain West, for me personally, because I am one of those old guys, JJ, those older generation guys. I went to school in the late 80s and early 90s. I think it's great, man, going down to UTEP to watch football games, and just that environment and that road trip is fun. Just like the trip this weekend to Las Cruces was fun for me and the family. But Jeff, you just hit it on what I was thinking about. Why don't you go into the Irvine market? That'll put you in Southern California and Orange County. If you go to Davis, that'll put you up in the Sacramento market. And if you go down to, what school is in the Inland Empire? Is that Riverside?
Yeah, UC. Well, they got Cal Baptist there.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
UC Riverside
UC
is like
Riverside.
60,000 students. That's like the fourth largest market.
What about
in America
USD?
Right now.
What about
Empire.
What about San Diego? What about USD?
Well, the thing with San Diego is, I mean, JJ's right, but they do play in a pull-out gym bleachers. But doesn't Colorado State play in a gym where they pull out bleachers too? So the mighty Pac-12.
Yeah,
have,
the Slim Jim.
bleachers.
Jenny Craig Arena is a little nicer than that. I mean, if you're going to stop, you know,
it is pull-out bleachers.
Is it still Jenny Craig?
Yeah, the
okay.
back of behind the basketball courts is still.
All right. Well, I mean, look at St. Mary's gym, dude. St. Mary's the same way. You don't want them either? Because
Yeah,
their gym?
no, I mean, St. Mary's would be great, but they're probably going to end up in the Pac-12. They're going to go with Gonzaga, I'm guessing. But why don't you? You think, guys, you can go over, of course, Grand Canyon, right? Bring in. So am I thinking is basketball?
Yeah.
If you go to Irvine, you get Orange County. If you go to Davis, you get Sacramento. If you go to Riverside, you get the Inland Empire. If you go to Grand Canyon, you get the Phoenix metropolitan area. And if you go maybe even the University of Denver, you get the Denver market.
Look, if you want to start playing that
TV.
game, you can look at Portland, Seattle, Santa Clara.
Well,
There's a lot of
Portland,
places to
Seattle,
go.
But I mean, for basketball-wise, get the TVs in. Just keep your footballs at 8 teams for football, so the money's not divided that much for football. You keep your money there for UNM and UNLV, but then you bring in those other schools for basketball. Then maybe you could become a 2 to 3 league bid team again, and you're nationally. And then for all the TV markets like ESPN, all those guys who want to run all that late night basketball, it'd be Mountain West basketball all night, all week, late night. That's all you'll get.
I appreciate you, Anthony. Thanks. Don't
All
be
right,
a stranger. So he's thinking where I am. Get solidify yourself as a conference. Get to 8 in football, and consider New Mexico State or whatever you're going to do. What are the basketball brands that are available? St. Mary's.
Nothing's off the table. Like I know we're poking a little fun at the gyms, but at that point in time, it's about can these teams elevate the net ranking of your conference.
JJ, look at St. Mary's gym, right?
But I think there's a difference. Like there's and I get it. This is legit jokes. I'm not trying to be hypocritical because of all the fingers that were pointing back at the University of Mexico.
Yeah.
St. Mary's is well past that. That's established. Those other ones, it's not winning and you don't have.
Yeah, so I don't know what the winning brand is there. Santa Clara would be the one that's going to get left behind that you go, okay, does Santa Clara do anything for us? And I'm going to tell you San Diego because there are other sports, because of baseball, because you get into that market a little bit. You still can recruit down there a little bit because you do. I think it's important for the Mountain West to somehow still be in Southern California. I do. Whether that's L.A. or San Diego, because every one of these schools recruits there.
And given where Gloria Nevada, as the Mountain West commissioner, has spent time in her career, she's discussing those markets and those schools with the Mountain West of, all right, if we do basketball only, what does this look like?
Look, this is gonna solidify here in the next day or two. UTEP's coming over the Mountain West. If you can secure Texas State, and that's a big if, you're at 8, you're secured football. Now, have a conversation with New Mexico State, see what you want to do. And then how do you make yourself better in basketball? I mean, look, if the Pac doesn't want St. Mary's, do you? Hell yes, you do, don't you? 505-246-0610. Get your winners and losers from the NFL over the weekend as well. Lions and Seahawks last night. Lions beat the Seahawks. Titans beat the Dolphins. I'm going to guess we're going to get some more news before we get out of here today because it's popping. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I believe Texas State may make a call today. And they may say no. They may say yes. They may say no. But Texas State realizes, I think they're waiting for the Pac to call too. And then there's the Sac-12 deal. Sacramento State's calling it their Sac-12 push with $35 million in NIL money that they put forth.
Which I believe it when I see that.
Okay.
Where are you getting $35 million from?
There's money, man.
Where?
Yeah. Raul says...
$35 million?
I know,
That's more
man.
than some power conference.
I understand. Raul's saying, how come no one's mentioned Grand Canyon? Don't we want to get into Phoenix? Look, let me tell you this. If this would be, and I'm sure this is discussed, I think the priority for the Mountain West is to solidify their football and make sure they're a conference. So they need one more at least. What if then, for basketball, you went hard at Grand Canyon, Santa Clara, St. Mary's, and USD? They're all, Grand Canyon just went to the West Coast Conference, right? Didn't they go with Bakersfield? They were with, somebody went with them. Bakersfield? One of them. Somebody did. I had a little whack. Might have been Cal Baptist, now that I think about it. Doesn't matter. Can you try to get St. Mary's before the Pac does?
You can try. So this is all what you're doing now. This is why Mountain West lobs stuff out there to the MAC and figured that would not happen, but you try. You have these conversations, you get people thinking you're going to do the same thing. And I do think that this, as much as we've gone back and forth and what is the Pac doing, this is the biggest move. Like, I understand this is all about football, but that does set them apart now on the basketball stage. Adding that branch of the conference.
Mm-hmm. Text line says, Ross Dellinger says Tarleton State and deep Mountain West conversations. Yep. This one says, Jeff, the hate that you're referring to from the schools leaving the Mountain West Conference and wanting the conference to fail is the same hate that UNM has towards New Mexico State. The schools that left believe they are superior to those left behind. And UNM believes that they are superior to New Mexico State, and they will do everything in their power to keep the Aggies out of the Mountain West Conference. UNM's real fear is that the state of New Mexico will need to fund the Aggies equally if they're in the same conference. And the Aggies have been competitive in the big three sports for the last 20 years with less resources.
Hasn't that been disproven? The funding, like, there's different capital outlay, but isn't the funding for both schools the same?
I don't know.
I think Jeff Grammer's talked about that a ton.
So I think in the past this was real that the Lobos tried to keep the Aggies out of their league. I think that did happen. I don't know that I think that's happening now. Now, I've sniffed around this morning a little bit. From my understanding, there have been no substantive conversations between New Mexico State and the Mountain West. That's what I'm hearing this morning, that there have not been any, detailed, real conversations with New Mexico State and the Mountain West. Are the Lobos trying to keep New Mexico State out of their league? I don't know that I believe that anymore. I know that used to be that way, and I asked the texter, 8990. I mean, hit me with a little more. Is there hate? Is that the same? The hate from the schools who left the Mountain West, who want the Mountain West to fail, is that the same thing that UNM has for New Mexico State? Does UNM want New Mexico State to fail?
And fans, yes. Like, it's part of rivalry. They don't want them to succeed.
All right.
But this is more than just, at this point in time, the Lobos are not getting in the way if it was a viable strategy. The Mountain West would say, get over it. We're trying to survive right now.
Yeah. Gopher says 0-4 UTEP, Jeffy? Yawn. What do they add in football? Heck, why not add Southern Utah, who just beat the Miners on Mike Price Field? Okay. I mean, we're talking, long-term as opposed. They also had 41,000 people there. Rudy, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. I thought we were talking about football. The Pac-12 adding Gonzaga doesn't do anything for their current predicament, which is they're not a football conference
Yeah,
right
they
now
figure
because
they'll
they
get
don't have
there.
18.
Yeah, they may add UConn, and that may be their. I'm sure they have a plan. Do you really believe that they're not going to fail?
UConn that's ridiculous.
Okay, but everything's ridiculous, Rudy.
I know. So what wasn't ridiculous was the Pac-2 merging with the Mountain West.
Right.
That's going to go down as one of the worst decisions the Pac ever made, because now they're giving up a bunch of money. I keep hearing from people, they're not going to have to pay it. It says who? They signed a contract. What do you mean they're not going to have to pay it? They have the money, they're going to pay it.
Yeah, they are.
So I think the Mountain West is in a far better situation. And the UTEP, fine. I don't care if New Mexico State comes on board. I don't care. I really don't. And really why all of this is happening is because this legislature has starved both programs to death. You know, the only money we have is public money, sitting on $3.9 billion and have two stadiums that don't move the needle for anybody else when it comes to conference realignment. Give both schools $100 million for capital improvements to their football stadium, and you'll see an instant change in receptivity by these conferences. Football is the driver. Football has always been the driver. Football, as far as I can see, in my lifetime, will always be the driver. And if we don't get that right this legislative session, then both New Mexico and New Mexico State are going to rue this. I don't understand what's going on with our legislature and why they are just so... Look across the street at both schools, the Pan Am and the Pitt. That's why there's anything going with both of these programs. And you could do it for football with a stroke of a pen.
Hopefully it's not too late for New Mexico State. By the time we hit legislature in January, I think the dust will be settled on this round, and hopefully it's not too late for them.
Yeah, well, it's never too late to get started doing something. You look at what Texas State has done with their facility. It's a nice facility.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could get Texas State in the Mountain West, you take them. UTEP has the Sun Bowl, regardless of how bad they are. And I've always said that. It doesn't really matter. Other coaches don't care because they want a guaranteed win. But you have to have enough eyes and enough interest. That's what it is, and that's what we have to manufacture or show that we have. And, yeah, we have the Pitt start filling the football stadium, and you'll see a huge difference.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Gonzaga did put out a release. The Pac-12 has as well. That Gonzaga is joining Pac-12. Boy, the Pac-12 tournament will be good, huh? San Diego State, Washington State, Gonzaga, Oregon State, Boise State. It'll be fun. All right, keep them coming. 505-246-0610. What do you think of Tarleton State? That's now on the table too for the Mountain West. You're like, wait, what is I know. Figure that out too. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Philly. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Better than New Mexico State. But I don't believe it's New Mexico holding New Mexico State. I just don't at this point. In fact, I would argue with you that it's best for New Mexico to have New Mexico State in this league. Do you disagree with that?
Yeah, just if it's more market-based at that point.
Yeah, I don't think that why you're not, and you're hearing a lot of schools right now, but not New Mexico State into the Mountain West. All right, Gonzaga's joining the Pac-12. That's become official this morning. UTEP's going to get into the Mountain West. That's not officially official, but that's going to happen today. Texas State mulling an offer for the Mountain West. Mountain West evidently talking to Tarleton State. You're like, what is that? FCS school. We're outside of Fort Worth. Stevensville, I think, is the town. All right, you can get in 505-246-0610. Really interesting morning. Really, really interesting. This one says, bingo, Rudy. I'm thinking NMSU is an option, albeit a third or fourth option. Yeah, at some point you're going to have to get to New Mexico State. Mud says, if the Mountain West doesn't take Texas State, I think we should go after UTSA. Big market in South Texas. They play in the Alamo Dome. Okay, a couple of things. And there's somebody else that asked, how come nobody's talking about North Texas? And it said North Texas State. North Texas and UTSA are in the American. They're probably in a better place than you are right now. Their buyout is significant. I know you think they're smaller than you. North Texas and UTSA, well, UTSA turned down the Pac. North Texas is in the American right now, as does UTSA, with Army and Navy and East Carolina and Tulane and Memphis and Charlotte and FAU, South Florida, Tulsa, UAB, Rice, and Temple. That league is more stable than yours right now, man. Like, tell me why North Texas or UTSA would pay exit fees to come over to you for less TV money. That's why. So I've gotten that one a couple of times. Well, why is nobody talking about them? That's why. Make sense?
Yes.
Keep them coming as they come in. Can I give you biggest winners and losers from the last weekend? Have I done that yet?
You have not done that yet.
Do you want those?
Of course.
All right. Last night in the National Football League, the Lions beat the Seahawks 42-29. Jared Goff was perfect, 18 of 18, 292 yards. Couple of touchdown passes and caught a touchdown. Titans beat the Dolphins 31-12. Mason Rudolph came in relief of the injured Will Levis. All right, you want winners or you want losers? What do you want first?
Flip a coin.
Losers was easy. I'll give you my biggest loser of the week first because it was easy. My number 3 loser of the week was the Cleveland Browns. Like how? Honestly, at this point, and I guess at some point I got to stop putting them in there, but they scored a defensive touchdown against a Raiders team that's not that good and still only scored 16 points and lose 20-16. They are 1-3. Their quarterback is pedestrian at best. Their running game is almost non-existent. Their best receiver is coughing balls up. And they're, again, 1-3 with a loss to the Raiders. They had a defensive touchdown, JJ, and only scored 16 points. That is a huge loss for Cleveland. Number 2 is Philadelphia. To get your ass kicked the way you did, to go on the road, you can't follow up a win. Not only to lose to Tampa Bay, who beat you in the playoffs and knocked you out, but to allow Baker Mayfield to go for 4 touchdowns, the 2 touchdowns, 347 yards, and beat you up. And now it's almost to me why they're on this list, because of the internal stuff that's going on. Because you're hearing that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, their quarterback and their head coach, are having these discussions that they can't get along. That they're in trouble. And by the way, the best team in that division might be the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. And the number 1 worst loss of the week, it's the Jets. I mean, this was so easy to me. It's the Jets. 10-9 at home. You miss a field goal at the end. You lose to a rookie quarterback who threw for 60 yards. You lost to a team who had 186 yards in total offense, a quarterback who threw for 60. You got Aaron Rodgers. You went up and down the field. You're 2-2, and you lost to those guys? And now and afterwards your coach says, well, the reason we had all these penalties, 5 pre-snap penalties, was, the cadence. Well, now it's not the cadence. And your quarterback says, no, that's one way to look at it. The other way is maybe hold these guys accountable. So you got your quarterback and your head coach butting heads. You lose to a Broncos team that scored 10 points at home. I mean, it's easy to me. Jets, Philly, Cleveland. You got a problem?
I don't. I think Philadelphia and the New York Jets are up there because how that game played out is 0 offense for the Broncos, yet they still were the only team to score a touchdown in that game. Now, both teams missed field goal at the end.
Yep.
So just kicking away their opportunities. The Eagles it felt like bad game planning. You were down A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But you still have Saquon Barkley. You have Jalen Hurts. But that defense got blitzed. You're giving up 3 touchdowns in the first 16 minutes. And that starts at the head coach of what plan were you putting together, knowing where you were lacking in that game offensively. And then, looking at the schedule, there wasn't a lot of other games that you felt like that was a big miss. So I'm okay with you putting the Browns there, but not you can't do that anymore. They're just not a good football team, so they can't be the biggest losers every week.
I know. It's
your last one for now.
Who else should I put in there?
But it works this week because they were 2.5-point favorites. But you know who you should have put in there? Not the Cleveland Browns, dude.
All right, fair enough.
Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, And I thought about that
That-
because that was a
that's a-
bad performance.
That's a lot different.
Bad performance. All right.
Like the Browns are a bad football team.
All right, I'll hit that game, though. Biggest winners, honorable mention, Tampa Bay. Big win at home. It just bounced back from their loss. The way they handled the Eagles, they're 3-1, and I think it proves that they're real. To me, the honorable mention was Tampa Bay. Number 3 was the Ravens. To get back to 2-2, but more so to handle that team that many people said was the best, or at least the number one challenger to the Chiefs, to beat the Bills 35-10, to shut down Josh Allen, who was, well, he's the MVP at this point, to keep him to 180 yards and no touchdowns, to keep him, what did he run for, 21 yards, and then have Lamar control the game. Oh, and by the way, get behind Derrick Henry and ride him all night long for 199 yards. They're number 3. That was a huge win for the Ravens. Number 2, Washington. And so I'll hit that game going into Arizona and not just winning, but going on the road and going west and beating the crud out of the Cardinals. And Jaden Daniels is legit. You don't need to see any more. 233 yards. He was 26 for 30. He ran for a touchdown. He threw a touchdown pass. He's taking care of the football. They beat a good football team, I think. I know Arizona's 1-3, but Washington made a statement this weekend. Going on the road, not just winning, but winning the way they did. And number 1, my biggest win of the weekend, Minnesota. Minnesota is 4-0. Sam Darnold is legit. He's your only quarterback with double-digit touchdowns. They go on the road, and I know they held on to win at Green Bay, but they won. They gave up 22 points the second half. They damn near let that thing go away. They damn near went Ravens on that, but they didn't. And I got a quarterback who threw for 275 yards and 3 touchdowns, who's controlling it, whose defense up until that fourth quarter all season has looked really good. Go on the road and get that victory and go to 4-0. Minnesota's my number 1 winner of the weekend.
I like it with the Sam Darnold's performance, able to overcome a couple turnovers because they had that great start, getting healthier and deeper with Addison back in the lineup, Kevin O'Connell scheming him up. That's a fun team right now.
Yeah.
That Brian Flores defense.
So you're okay with those? All right. 505-246-0610. Let's get back to you. Angelo, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Angelo?
Good morning. I was just wondering about, like, the Texas team that might come into the Mountain West, and I was thinking that, maybe the Mountain West wants those players too. I mean, you get a pull from that Texas pool of high school players that might not go to, let's say those bigger SEC schools and the A&Ms and whatnot, and so you get a nice pool of quality, football players.
No doubt that's one of the reasons that they're looking at these markets. There's no doubt. And that's why they want to get into Texas State, and that's why they would be looking at Tarleton State, and they're in UTEP now. Yeah, 100%. That's why.
Yeah. And I think that's why you wouldn't want New Mexico State. Is basically, why bring in a team or a college that doesn't bring in players or anything like that, or a draw. You know what I mean? It's the same thing of just getting. Oh, you get a game in Texas, your family can come and watch you play or stuff like that.
I think there's a lot to that. No, thanks, Angelo. I appreciate it. I think he's right. And the TV markets. That's the other thing. There's nowhere to go football wise in California anymore. But to be out of, you're in San Jose, but not to be in Southern California anymore, I think is going to hurt you football-wise. That's why I keep saying, would USD consider going FBS?
Tarleton is, so.
I know Tarleton is. Yeah, and the Sac State thing. All right, 505-246-0610. They keep coming. The Gonzaga story is big, and it's official. They're going to the Pac-12. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Join.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Got a huge golf event coming to Albuquerque. Balloon Fiesta's next week, but this is a gigantic event. And it's one that, man, if you love college golf, if you love golf, if you love New Mexico, you got a great opportunity to get out there and see some of the best college golf. Nota Begay was behind putting this together put this together. New Mexico State, Stanford, Texas are going to go out to Twin Warriors and play in this just a top-notch college golf event. And it's one of those things that it's great for our state, it's great for our city, it's great for golf, and it's great to catch up with a guy who's right in the middle of this, putting it all together. And you listen to him, you probably listened to him on the President's Cup. Nota Begay joins us on The Sports Animal with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Good morning, Nota. How you living?
I am doing great. Trying to shake off the jet lag, travel back from Montreal after a great President's Cup week, and excited to dive right into this upcoming event. And yes, you're right. It's top-of-the-line college golf at its best. The reigning national championship Stanford women's golf team is coming in. Both Stanford men's and Texas men's programs have both won a national championship within the last 5 years. So a lot of golf heat coming to the land of enchantment. But as you know, there's been a lot of great ideas in this state. There always is. There's a lot of wonderful people doing great things. But these things don't go anywhere without wonderful partners. And the Pueblo of Santa Ana, New Senda Credit Union all stepped up at a moment's notice to get behind me, our team, and what we're trying to do to showcase our state, give our kids at New Mexico State and University of New Mexico a chance to compete on national television against the premier programs in the nation to let's just show what we're all about against the backdrop of the Balloon Fiesta. I can go on and on, Jeff, but you can tell how excited I am. I've gotten this opportunity through television. I learned how to produce golf events. I started a production company last year. It's the first Native American owned, Native American produced golf event on live television. So a lot of real cool things happening.
Well, I think it's so cool. First of all, it's going to air live on Golf Channel and Peacock. So it's going to get to show the nation this place. And all these programs are places that are really, really dear to you. And when you went and put this thing together, and it's New Mexico and New Mexico State, it's your hometown, it's your alma mater at Stanford, and I know how close you've been all over the years to the Texas program. Was it a no-brainer for all these schools to come out and play when you approached them? As you put it together, how did that process go?
Well, it's about relationships in business and in life. And, I picked up the phone. I needed some big names to come in, and my first call was to John Fields, and, a former University of New Mexico coach, and then got hired at Texas and went on to win a national championship. He coached Jordan Spieth. He was the coach of Scotty Scheffler, among so many other PGA Tour players, as well as the likes of Ken Herron, Brian Corton, who's now a coach himself at the Division I level. Did a wonderful job of building the program here in New Mexico, and now it's under in good hands with Jake Harrington now. But he was the first call, and he was all in. He's raised in Las Cruces. He knows what an event like this could do for the profile of the state. Things like this just don't happen here. And a lot of things had to fall in place, and if one thing goes wrong, it falls apart. But like I said, Santa Ana has been such a strong partner, and everybody out here, Chairman Jay Garcia, Derek Gutierrez, the GM, really believed in my vision. And to get Texas on board quickly, and then my teammate, Conrad Reyes, the head men's coach, like I said, it's about relationships. He's the head men's coach at Stanford. He was on board. And so once we had, two key programs, obviously filling in the other two teams in New Mexico State and University of New Mexico was great. Jill Trujillo's doing a wonderful job at UNM. They had a great run last year. And so, it's really cool. The format's unique. We really wanted to have a balanced approach, equitable approach. So we have both teams from each university coming. So we have the Stanford women and the Stanford men, UNM women, so on and so forth. So we'll have 8 teams total. It's going to be a round-robin match play format, 5 points available per match, per session. And we're going to have a university champion, which is the combined points at the end of the 3 matches. Whichever school combined between the men's and the women's scores will be a university champion, as well as a men's team champion and a women's team champion. So there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching, because it could be it really could come down to the last match.
He is a 4-time winner on the PGA Tour. He was a multi-sport stud at the Albuquerque Academy. You listen to him every week almost on NBC and the Golf Channel. Notah Begay is with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
Notah, you talk about what it means to bring these programs in, the environment for everyone, but for the student athletes participating, what kind of tournament experience is it going to be for those people?
Well, first and foremost, the golf course sort of dictates what the competition is going to look like. And, for my money, this is the best tournament golf course in the state, without question. It's hosted the National Club Pro. It's hosted a number of other nationally sanctioned events. And, I took my son out there to play. He's just getting started. He shoots like in the 80s.
Yes.
And he quit after 13 holes because he lost all his golf balls. And I wouldn't give him any of mine. I was like, those are the rules. You lose all your golf balls, son. You can't play anymore.
Go find some. Go out in the woods and find some. There's got to be some out there.
Right. But it is a tough course. Let's just leave it at that. And I think that for match play, it's going to really suit our format exceptionally well. I really encouraged both New Mexico State and University of New Mexico to bring their teams up to play. I know Coach Dirks from New Mexico State men's, we're up here. Hopefully, interesting side note, New Mexico State men's program has the only 2 Native American golfers in Division I golf playing on their team in Aiden Thomas and Lance Christensen Jr. So if both of them make it, that's kind of a real interesting thing for me to support is watching these young natives take the course in a premier event like this. But the course is going to hold up, and there's no charge for anybody that wants to come out. It's completely free. On Tuesday, which is when the competition starts, players will be on the course teeing off at 7:20 in the morning, and we will be playing until dark. It's a 36-hole day, so I know many of the young high school golfers and all the kids that sort of love this game, or anybody out there, might be in school, but get a permission slip and come right after school, and you'll still be able to get in so much experience in watching these players, because you're going to see a lot of these players on the PGA and LPGA tour in the next 3 to 4 years.
All right, so it's free to get out there, and it's how many days? Is it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Is that it?
No, it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. So we'll have 2 matches, 2 sessions, a morning session and an afternoon session on Tuesday, and then Wednesday just 1 afternoon session. The coverage will be 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you can't get out here, but you have Golf Channel or you have Peacock, you can stream it. You can watch it at home. You can watch it wherever you can sort of get access to a screen or a device, and just check it out. We've partnered with the Balloon Fiesta, so we're going to try and fire up a balloon for the kids on the range on the first day. Hopefully the balloons will be up and flying on Tuesday morning, weather permitting, and it's just going to be a celebration of our state and our community.
It's out at Twin Warriors Golf Club, and it's free. Starts at 7:20 in the morning on Tuesday, and it goes Tuesday and Wednesday. Hey, real quick before you get out of here, you said you just got back from Montreal. How cool was the President's Cup? The United States wins the 10th in a row, 18.5, 11.5 over the internationals. Big first day. Got kind of interesting after day 2. But just the experience out there, what it means for the United States to win the way they won.
Well, it just demonstrates the depth on the U.S. side. One of my best friends in all of golf is Captain Mike Weir of the international side. So I've been talking with him for the last couple of years about potential picks and strategies, and how do they offset the depth of the Americans, and they just really couldn't. They didn't have an answer. I mean, if you looked at how those matches unfolded in the afternoon session on Saturday, which was the foursome session, the alternate shot, and then the single session on Sunday, there was a point where there was a lot of gold on the board, and they just couldn't convert. The U.S. would come back toward the end and flip those matches. But there was a point where it was realistic that the international side could win, and it's tough. It's tough to be on that international side because, the U.S. is always going to have a strong team. You lose the likes of Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau to live, and they just replace them with probably better players. I mean, it's a tough match to win. So hopefully, in 2 years, I think we're at Medina. It'll be a little closer.
All right. Appreciate you spending some time with us. It's always great catching up with you. Congratulations on this event. It's Texas, it's Stanford, New Mexico, New Mexico State, both their men's and women's teams from all 4 institutions. It's the biggest college golf event probably ever, right? And I mean, nationally televised. We've had NCAA tournaments here, but this one is premier. It's during Balloon Fiesta. Golf Channel will be here. It's next Tuesday and Wednesday out at the beautiful Twin Warriors Golf Club on the Santa Ana Pueblo. It is free admission if you want to get out there. 7:20 is when it starts on Tuesday. Is there a website for everybody to go get schedules and information on that?
Yeah, you can go to nb3college.com.
Okay. NB as in Nota Begay, nb3college.com. Congratulations on this, my friend. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I know this is something that's a passion for you, and this is great for our state.
Thanks. And, I can't say enough about Santa Ana and Newsender Credit Union, and I just encourage everyone, support those businesses because they're reinvesting back in our community. Thanks, guys.
All right, be well. He is Nota Begay, a 4-time winner on the PGA Tour, and, just an international star now, huh? TV will do that for you.
Yes, it will.
And appreciate him spending some time. All right, we'll wrap it up when we get back. I got some correspondence from you as well. See Opening Drive on 95.9 FM. At AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
All right, wrapping it up here on the Sports Animal. Thanks to Notah Begay. That's going to be a great event out there.
Absolutely.
Great event. All right. What a morning, dude. What a morning.
Very busy.
Gonzaga joined the Pac-12 this morning. UTEP is joining the Mountain West. Texas State's mulling an offer. I keep checking like every second to see if there's more. And there will be by the end of the day, don't you think?
Something else is going to happen.
Yeah, there's more going. Texas State, Tarleton State for the Mountain Westers out there. Really quiet on the New Mexico State front. And from what I understand, there's been no substantive conversations between the Pac-12 or the Mountain West and New Mexico State. So that's what we got. Damn, that's a lot. All right, John says on New Mexico State, it's without a doubt in the best interest of UNM to add NMSU. They're decent in most sports, and from the UNM side of things, it frees up one or sometimes two non-conference basketball games that we play them each year. I've always thought it was best for us. It's from John. Yeah, I think it, people are telling me that New Mexico's keeping New Mexico State out of the Mountain West. I just don't see why. Grady says the hits keep coming. Breaking news breakers of the OD and the AM. Man, this hits just keeps on coming. I like the idea of the Mountain West adding UTEP, great regional rivalry. I personally like the idea of adding NMSU to the Mountain West, selfishly from a state of New Mexico point of view. The rivalry is strong, long-standing, and if you add the possibility of one of the schools knocking the other out of a conference contention postseason, it would kick it up a notch. You guys are right. Things are crazy and don't necessarily make sense. All these market-driven wishes, Grand Canyon, USD, et cetera, make as much sense as anything else that's already happened, so why not? I'm one of your listeners who doesn't have a problem with Pete Rose not having been in the Hall of Fame. All those things said earlier are true. Can't tell the story of baseball without him. He's the all-time leader and perhaps the most influential and essential function of baseball. There are bad guys already in the Hall of Fame, et cetera. What's also true is he was the most, capital M-O-S-T, recognized and revered personality in baseball as a player and manager. He jeopardized the very fabric of the sport he was king of by betting on it. Can you imagine if the king of baseball turned it into pro wrestling? That was his crime and his punishment fit, period. Whether he accepted it or not, he deserved the lifetime ban. And now that time has expired. He should get in. His ban and his posthumous Hall of Fame induction, he earned and deserved both. Grady and Santa Fe by way of the Pac-12, now Big 12, and the Mountain West Conference for now. So what he's saying is, yeah, put him in now. That's fine. His lifetime ban is over. He served his lifetime ban. His life is over. My thought always is a lifetime ban from baseball, to me, should include he doesn't make a living, and he didn't. But does a lifetime ban mean lifetime? You don't get the Hall of Fame. Is baseball? I know we're interpreting it differently. And Grady, I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people who feel the way you do. I feel the way I do. I think you feel the way, right? You thought he should have been in. You think he should be in now? He will. No. You don't think he should? No, you don't.
I think there should be something about him in the Hall of Fame, but not enshrined as a Hall of Famer. Because I do think it doesn't make sense that now the guy's dead, we can put him in the Hall of Fame. It should either be in or not, whether you're alive or you're dead.
It's really interesting. The only reason he's not in is the lifetime ban, right? I never really put it into these terms because I always just lifetime's forever, but it's not. His lifetime is over. So do you put him in now that he has served his lifetime ban? They didn't say forever ban, did they?
Said lifetime. You're right.
I mean, Grady just said that. I never thought of it in those terms, but he's not wrong. His life is over. And this is interesting. Baseball playoffs start today. Justin Verlander left off the roster for the Astros. Astros play the Tigers today. Dude, look out for the Tigers in Game 1 today. They probably have the best pitcher out of all in the American League playoffs, don't they?
If you look, yeah, the potential Cy Young Award winner. Screwball.
I mean, and they're hot. Look out for the Tigers tonight, or today. I think that's your early game today. I mean, look out. What else did I put down here that I didn't get to today? No, that's pretty much, I got all of it. I got your Rashid Rice injury. All right. I got baseball all day today, don't I?
All day.
It starts at 12:30, Detroit and Houston. 2 o'clock, Kansas City and Baltimore. So the first game's on ABC, the second one's on ESPN2. And then the late games on ESPN, the Mets and Milwaukee, Atlanta and San Diego. National League buys are the Dodgers and Philly. The American League buys are the Yankees and Cleveland. It's going to get interesting now, man. I'm just telling you, yesterday's baseball, which wasn't playoff baseball, but was playoff baseball, but was branded as the last 2 games of the regular season. Game 1 of that game was as crazy as anything you're going to see. Where the Braves were cruising 3-0, the Mets scored 6. Braves come back and take a 7-6 lead, and Lindor hits a home run, and the Mets win 8-7. How about it? Have you ever, I don't know if this ever happened. JJ, has there ever been a game in Major League Baseball where after the game, both teams went back to the clubhouse and popped champagne?
Not many.
I don't think it's ever happened. Give me another scenario. So both teams, because the Mets wrapped it up in Game 1, the Braves wrapped it up in Game 2, they both clinched a playoff berth. So both clubhouses popped bottles last night after they played the second game of the doubleheader. I don't think that's ever happened. I would never have been able to come up with a scenario that it ever happened.
The only other one would be if you're playing and the team clenches and then someone lost, and that allowed HU to clinch after the fact.
I imagine. Okay, fair. Yeah, you clinch and you clinch a division, but the other team lost, and so they clinch a wild card. Yeah, I get that. Okay, fair enough. That's good. But I don't think it's ever happened before. But yeah, they both popped bottles last night. They both won a game, and they're going to the playoffs, and so you get that today. All right. By the time we reconvene tomorrow, heck, I don't know. The Mountain West might have a commitment for 8 football playing members. I don't know. Maybe New Mexico State will be in the conversation. Do they get in the conversation? Look, if Tarleton's thinking of moving up, I mean, you may start to want to familiarize yourself with Tarleton State. I'm just saying. Thank you to Tony Sanchez, New Mexico State's football coach. He was with us today. Nota Begay, 4-time winner on the PGA Tour. Big star on the Golf Channel and NBC Sports. He was with us. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's here at 4, and we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great job. Looks great on the TV side, always. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy that. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2400.